Aaron, what is our third main topic today?
Our third main topic comes from Michael O'Hearn. Hi, John and crew. Hello. So Jude Law was announced yesterday as the lead in the new Star Wars series called Skeleton Crew, due for release in 2023. Do you think this has any impact on his role as Dumbledore in the Fantastic Beasts movie? Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Michael. And yeah, listen, I was surprised when one of the big things that happened at Star Wars Celebration yesterday was talking about John Watts, the guy who directed Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man No Way Home, one of the most successful films of all time. They had just announced he was doing a series. They're way further along on this series than I think anybody realized, because if this thing is coming out next year, he has been working on this for a while, which means Kevin Feige knew he wasn't going to be directing Fantastic Four for a long time. This wasn't new and recent. This means like 6 months ago, they knew he wasn't going to be doing it. At any rate, they came on stage to talk about it, and they gave some breakdown. I mean, you had Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, who of course can act as producers on it. You had John Watts out there describing it as, they show this great image of this giant ship with these 10-year-old kids standing around, and he broke it down. He says, this is a story. He goes, and Jon Favreau was quick to point out, this is not a show for kids. But it's a show that captures the awe and wonder of the Star Wars galaxy through the eyes of kids. And he says they get lost in the Star Wars galaxy on this ship. And then they announce the star of the series, and it's Jude Law. And I instantly got really excited about that because I love Jude Law. I wasn't expecting to hear a name like him put in this. Anyway, this is what the folks over at The Hollywood Reporter had to say about it. They wrote the following. Jude Law is heading to the galaxy far, far away. The actor will star in Star Wars Skeleton Crew, the series that is being developed by Spider-Man trilogy director John Watts and writer Christopher Ford, the writer of Watts' Spider-Man Homecoming movie. The announcement was made at Star Wars Celebration, which also saw Watts' series, which was operating under the code name of Grammar Rodeo, given an official title, Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Thursday's Lucasfilm panel also revealed a few more. The story is set in the New Republic era and tells of a group of kids lost in the Star Wars galaxy trying to find their way home. So this show is happening in the same time period as things like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano, and Dave Filoni kind of teased that it is all going to tie in in some way, some shape, some form. Now, as far as will this interfere with Jude Law being in the Fantastic Beasts movies? Well, number one, that's assuming there's going to be another Fantastic Beasts movie. I certainly hope there is. I like the last one, but it didn't do great financially, so we'll see. But if there is, it ain't going to affect it at all. Listen, actors can work on 4, 5, 6, 7 projects in a year. So just because he's doing one thing doesn't mean at all that he can't be involved with something else. And by the way, if this thing's coming out in 2023, he's going to be done whatever he's going to be doing on this movie probably by January, February of 2023. So there's plenty of time for him to do 12 other movies. No big deal. Number one, I'm very excited about this. John Watts has done such an incredible job with those Spider-Man movies. And I think we all take for granted how difficult of a job he was tasked with. You're walking into a franchise that's about to get its third incarnation in the same generation. Its third incarnation. Now also trying to segue it and tie it into the MCU. The expectations were monumentally high, and he did nothing but walk in and crush it every single time, culminating with Star Wars or Spider-Man No Way Home, one of the most successful films in cinematic history. That's all he did. So for him,
easy
to come into this and working alongside guys like Jon Favreau to make this universe, the whole idea of exploring the vastness of the Star Wars galaxy, trying to recapture that awe and wonder of that galaxy far, far away, and then bringing in a guy like Jude Law, who I absolutely love. There is nothing not to be excited about this. I think this sounds fantastic. I love that he's connected to it. Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. You know, the one with the delightful ads with good Canadian kid Ryan Reynolds. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, that's no joke, because for years I've been using one of the major providers and it was fine. But I switched over to Mint Mobile a little while ago. The service has been fantastic. And the big difference is I'm now paying about 1/3 of what I was paying before. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, you had a chance to see this. What do you think about the project overall, and what do you think about Jude Law being attached?
Well, first of all, I'm a huge Jude Law fan. I mean, I loved him in everything from Gattaca to The Talented Mr. Ripley. I'm just to a movie called Closer that he was in. I love Jude Law. So put him in a role where, is he a space pirate? Is he? I don't know. But I'm like, bring him on. Having him in the Star Wars universe, I think it's great casting. And that's the way to anchor. When you start talking about, well, it's kids lost in space in the Star Wars universe, it's like, okay, well, but when you have Jude Law, like running the ship or whatever the hell he's doing, I don't know what he's doing. That gets me excited. That's not, and when they said it's not for kids. So, we were saying, I was convinced that they would announce John Watts' project I said a couple before I was sick. I said a couple weeks ago that I thought they were going to do. I thought that they were going to announce he's going to do Kevin Feige's project.
Right.
Obviously that changed, but they still did announce it. So like you pointed out, they're way ahead of the game here.
Yeah, they are.
And so I would expect that we haven't heard the only announcements out of Star Wars Celebration, because we haven't heard anything about movies yet. And so we'll probably
That's
get
probably
more
going
of
to be today and tomorrow.
Yeah, but I do think this is really exciting. As you pointed out, I think John Watts, his first movie was a Cop Car?
I think so.
I really liked him as a creator, and since this is a show that he's come up with, he's probably had this idea for a long time, and Spider-Man got him the power to call his own shots, I think, a little bit, and that excites me, that you have an auteur, a director who's also developed the show, doing something, and it sounds to me like this will be, I'm curious, unique, new, interesting. I'm excited.
Aaron, you had a chance to hear about this. Jude Law is going to be in it now. What do you think about the news?
Well, first of all, to address the issue of, is this going to affect this other major project? We were just talking about Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford famously was playing Indiana Jones and
What's his name?
brain fart.
Han Solo.
Thank
What's his
you.
name?
Jesus.
What's his
wow. Brain fart at the wrong time. Famously playing Han Solo and Indiana Jones pretty much around at the same time, having two massive franchises at a time when, let's face it, there weren't a ton of franchises. Now there are so many properties, and, there are obviously a lot of actors and to choose from, but when you talk about actors of a certain degree, of a certain caliber to, as you said, elevate the project, there are not a lot of actors on the level of Jude Law. So it's not surprising to see someone like Jude Law having multiple properties happening at the same time. And as you said, these things are all scheduled to the nth degree. So it's not like he's doing a Michael J. Fox and running from the set of Family Ties to the set of Back to the Future,
right,
and working 24 hours a day. These things are very much scheduled. Don't worry, Jude Law is getting his beauty rest. And I love what you said about anchoring the cast, because in the same way that Gene Wilder anchored a cast of children in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory so that it wasn't a, quote, kids movie. When you have someone like Jude Law, who has such an incredible range as an actor, but also a depth, and I'm really loving the images of the more seasoned, we should say, the more mature looking Jude Law. In my mind, I always see the image of him as the talented Mr. Ripley, but that movie came out 20 years ago?
Yeah.
the guy's got a few gray hairs now, and he's really aged well in the same way that I think Ethan Hawke, when I saw him in Moon Knight, I was like, wow, Ethan Hawke grew up, and I like this more grizzled version of him. And similarly, I really like this, the way that Jude Law has seemed to come into his own as an older actor. And given what, I won't belabor this too much because I know we're going to talk about it in a minute, the young actress who plays Princess Leia, Vivian Lyra Blair, if we're getting 10-year-old children who have that kind of talent, sign me up for Skeleton Crew, because I don't care the age of an actor. If you have the depth and emotional range of some of these child actors that we're seeing, like, it doesn't matter how old they are. Their performances alone are gonna bring me in and make me captivated every single time. So I don't think this is like the Hannah Montana, school of acting. No offense to anyone who loves Hannah Montana or the actors that were on that show, but this is not like a Disney Channel, type of acting.
Right, yeah.
This is really high caliber, and I agree Jude Law is gonna anchor it with what he brings. And I'm actually really excited about this.
All right, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about the announcements about Star Wars Skeleton Crew, having the showrunners up there talking about it? We now know Jude Law is starring in it, which I get all due respect to all the projects you mentioned. I don't know why. When I think of Jude Law, I think of his incredible Dr. Watson.
He was great.
Yeah, in the Sherlock Holmes movie. I loved him.
I
in
totally
that role.
forgot about it. What's funny? I always forget about those movies. I love those movies.
So do
Yeah.
I.
I want them to make a third one.
Well, they keep talking about
I know.
it. Guy Ritchie can get around to it. I don't know if he'll be involved at this time. Anyway, what do you guys think about this news? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.